Single-use plastics are used globally to protect products, and collectively we should all be looking at why that is and whether we can reduce that. The construction industry uses a lot of single-use plastics, and the brick industry is part of that. So collectively we're all trying to do our bit to reduce the impacts that that has. BDA and its members all understand the impacts of single-use plastics, and we're all trying to reduce those impacts. Ibstock has taken several approaches to looking at that. If you look 20 years back, shrink wrap wasn't used on brick products. We used a metal strap, but because of health and safety reasons, the metal strap has moved to a plastic sort of strapping and banding to secure the safety of the pack. And then shrink wrap has sort of crept in as a cover over those bricks. And I think what we're really trying to do is eliminate that preventable plastic, the shrink wrap that goes around the pack. Ibstock has looked at the strength of the plastic that we use, and so we were giving away strength in many cases. It wasn't necessary for it to be that thick, so we've managed to take 200 tonnes of single-use plastic out of the business in 18 months, and that was just by reducing the microns within the shrink wrap. So I think if everyone did that across the construction sector, we'd make some significant gains. But we're then looking obviously at eliminating the plastic completely where we can, so that's taking off shrink wrap entirely where the bricks don't need that protection. A lot of our bricks already go out without shrink wrap protection, so there's some cultural kind of expectations in the construction sector and for bricklayers and building sites to expect the bricks to come now shrink wrapped, and we're trying to shift that, and that's work that the BDA is doing together. So Ibstock's removed plastic wrap from several packs, and then we're also looking at where there does need to be a bit of top protection over those bricks, whether we just use a lot less. So instead of covering the whole pack, we shrink it up and we just cap the bag. So they're the main initiatives that we've implemented so far, but obviously looking at further things to reduce that further. Ibstock has set a target to reduce preventable plastic packaging by 40% by 2025, and with the initiatives that we've implemented, we're well on the way to achieving that. The BDA are championing the increased recycled content within plastics that are used, and lots of BDA members have moved up to 30% recycled content within plastics. Obviously looking to get that higher. The market is quite challenging for finding that material, but moving to that level of 30% is a really good and significant move. We as manufacturers are doing what we can to really move this agenda forward in terms of reducing single-use plastic, but it doesn't stop at our gate. So we're working really closely with our customers, so house builders, developers, merchants, to be able to understand their needs when the product gets to them, because it's not straightforward. So us removing a plastic wrap may not be acceptable to the site that is then accepting the products, depending on how they store those products on site, even though we know our customers are really, really keen to reduce plastics as well. So we've all got the same aim in the sector, but it's looking at those different cultural and behaviours on sites, looking at the different needs of our customers. One site initiative we've seen is where building sites are using temporary shelters for their materials so that the product doesn't need to come wrapped in plastic. That is challenging on some sites. Some sites are very constrained in an urban area, for example. Other sites, the plots are set out with the materials on that plot so that they're ready to build. So there are constraints, but we're certainly seeing customers looking at innovative ways that they can also reduce single-use plastic.